What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to share to y'all my full Mimighoul deck profile. Mimighoul is my favorite deck of all time. The only deck that comes close to it is RB, which is a deck I will be posting another list for pretty soon. So please make sure to subscribe and put on notifications so that you can see my RB deck list. Today I just want to hop in, and you know how we do it around here. We'll always start off with our extra deck, where we run 2 copies of Mimighoul Throne. This card is a really important piece of your end board. It's an important piece of your combo, because you can detach to summon a Mimighoul Master from your hand, deck, or graveyard, and then during the main phase, you can target the Master, equip it to him, and then bounce cards up on the field up to the hand equal to the amount of material he has. So you can, at the very most, get 2 or 1 material on it. He also gives the Mimighoul Master that you summon and equip him to 1,000 attack as well, which really help OTK in the turn 3 situations when you shut out your opponent from playing. Up next, we run 2 copies of Giant Mimighoul. This is one of the best cards for getting your combo started. It is a really good extension piece. It's literally just a toolbox extra deck card. What it does is, 1, it allows your non-Xyz Mimighoul to attack directly, which equals a really powerful and consistent OTK. And then on its summon, Xyz summon, you can add a Mimighoul card. So it can be any monster, it can be any spell, it can be any trap. So if you open a bad hand, make him, add a maker, or a dungeon, or whatever your hand needs to help reach it a more playable state. He also has a burn effect, but we don't really use that because it's not very good, but it can really help clear up a really bad board state for you. Up next, play 1 copy of Ripplebird. This is a really good floodgate kind of card because it prevents your opponent from attacking if all monsters you control are in defense position. So if you're playing like a Tempai Dragon thing, they have to address this. If they're playing a deck that really likes to OTK or kill really quickly, this card can help make them address that situation before they can swing into you. Up next, we have 1 copy each of Lyrilistic Ensemble Nightingale and Lyrilistic Ensemble Blue Robin. These cards are mainly here because these 2 can help with really weird game states. This can help you return against the deck like Yummy. Let's say they go Cupsy, summon, you pop it, right? You pop the Snatchy that they make. They go attempt to Marshmallow. You can go Ensemble Blue, bounce the Marshmallow back, so you can really just shut them off of their Yummy plays really quickly. And this one is really good at helping stall in the battle phase a little bit longer, so you don't just immediately die to whatever threats your opponents might be making. They're also here because they're Wind-Winged Beast, and they really help turn on your Harpy's Featherstorm. Up next, we have 1 copy of Drytron Mu Beta Fafnir. This is a generic spell negate. What this does is Mimighoul is a deck that loses to like a Lightning Storm or Raigeki. Those kind of cards really kill the deck because your deck doesn't have any negates on it. So if you compare one of these into your end board, which you can do, I'll upload a combo video if y'all want to see that, and I'll show you where you can go full Mimighoul combo and then make this guy. Please let me know, and I would love to do it. But what this guy allows you to do is pretty much make sure that your board doesn't just die to 1 breaker, and that they actually have to commit a little bit more to stopping your end board. Up next, we play a copy of Downward Magician just for Zeus. I don't have my Zeus right now. It is coming in the mail, but the 15th card in this extra deck is the last copy of Zeus. Then 1 each of, obviously, IP, SP. These 2 are crucial pieces of your end board. You always end on an IP, and then you can make an SP really quickly. So these are just good cards. SP is broken. IP is a really good bridge into it, and it really just helps make your deck end board a little bit more monstrous. Then we play 1 copy of Barricade Board Blocker. You need your field spell, so they get rid of it. They destroy it during your turn. Like, let's say they Ghost Ogre it. You can make him as a backup plan to add it back and hope that you can stall the next turn where your dungeon is back online. Then we play 1 copy of Access Code Talker, just to help make that OTK a little bit more resilient. It can also allow you to clear up all of your opponent's other monsters that they might summon on their turn that you hopefully can shut down from negation. And then last but not least, we'll play one copy of Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. I really like her effect. It could really help heal boards and can really help remove problem cards that your opponent might have that would be otherwise really hard to get out. Now we move on to the main deck, where of course we've won 3 copies of Mimighoul Dragon. This card on normal adds normal specials, adds the Mimighoul spell traps. You can get Maker, you can get Dungeon, you can get Room, you can get Fork, you can get Charm. You can get all of those really good cards that you want to get your combo with. Normally you go Dragon, Summon, Maker, reveal Archfiend Slime, go full combo there. It also has its own flip effects. Obviously, they all have the ability to give themselves to your opponent as a face-down monster. Then when they're flipped up, they have an effect. His is destroy all face-up monsters you control except Mimighoul monsters. Remember, this is activating on your opponent's field. So it would blow up their entire board, and then it would give control of this card back to you. Up next, we have 3 copies of Mimighoul Archfiend. I really like this card because on its normal special, it flips a monster face up. So you can go, let's say you open like Armor and Archfiend. You can give the armor to your opponent, normal to Archfiend. They can't impermit, they can't Fuwa, they can't Perulia. They're gonna, if they don't go Fuwa, Perulia in draw phase, you can lead with a face down Mimighoul that you won't need for your combo. Shut those off, shut off an imperm. And then you can flip the armor face up, make a giant, reveal 2, see someone add the Maker, reveal 2 for the Maker, go full combo. He is really helpful in a lot of bad hands where you open like a Cerberus, an Armor, a Slime, any of those cards that don't really help you win the game. He can help clear up and turn into full combo. Up next, to literally no one that's ever read these cards surprise, 3 copies of Fairy. She is a really powerful card. What she can do is, if you control a Mimighoul, you can special summon it to your hand. She can also make it to where your opponent can activate the effects of monster special summon from the hand. And I forgot to talk about it, but Archfiend's effect is he makes your opponent draw a card, so he makes us draw a card, and then he discards a card from your opponent's hand so you can hand rip and help you draw into more hand traps. But Fairy, she is a really good combo extender because if you control, all you have to do is control a Mimighoul and she can special herself. That's it. She is a free extender, and she can also help shut down a deck like Mitsurugi. If they go special Murokuma from hand, you can't activate that. They can't activate any Ryziel or Anamat stuff. They can't activate any of their good Luna Light cards. They can't activate certain Yummy cards. They can't activate any of the Canine stuff if they're playing on your turn. It really helps shut down a lot of decks because it's kind of a really powerful floodgate ability, honestly. Up next, we have the 1 copy of Mimighoul Maker. Mimighoul Maker is a really powerful card. What it can do is, on its summon, it'll add any Mimighoul monster. So let's say they imperm you in a bad spot, make a Maker, no, not Maker, make Master, add Dragon, give them Dragon, and then he can flip it face up on their turn, which is a really good ability. Also, he can't be destroyed by battle or card effects while you control a Mimighoul monster other than himself, or your opponent controls a face-down monster. Up next, we have 1 copy each. We have a Mimighoul Cerberus. A lot of people cut this after the second wave of support. I didn't, because I really like the card. It has a banish 3 from the top of your deck. Then special summon 1 banished monster to your opponent's field in defense position, and then give control of it. What this really helps with is against a lot of decks where, let's say they're playing like a bunch of 1-ofs. This can help hit some of those 1-ofs. This can help prevent them from getting some of their resource loops back. This can also just get rid of some of their hand traps. And also, it's just another name which into turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, which this deck will get to if they interrupt you on your turn trying to go OTK or go first. He can really help be another name, which is very valuable to continue to activate Maker and all of that. Up next, we have 1 copy of Mimighoul Armor. This is a 1-of simply because it's not full combo, but it is a name, and we need to try to maximize the amount of names that we can play without playing a ton of bricks. That's why we're only playing 1 of the Cerberus and 1 of the Master as well. because while Master is a good card, we're not trying to have as many bricks as we can, because no Mimighoul name counts as a brick until you start playing like 2-3 armor, 2-3 Cerberus, 2-3 slime. You don't ever want to run that many because the consistency of getting those will be a lot higher, which means you won't be able to get to a large combo. And finally, for the monsters, we have one copy of Mimighoul Slime. When it is flipped face up, you can special summon one Mimighoul monster from the deck. I'm saying that in the sense of it'll activate in your it's your opponent's effect, but you're treating it as your own because it allows you to special summon from the deck. So it'll get you a Mimighoul monster and then summon itself to your side of the field. Also, you can special summon it if your opponent controls more monsters than you do. And Mimighoul Armor requires your opponent to have a face-down defense position monster to summon itself. So Fairy, Armor, and Slime can all special summon from their hands using various effects. Up next, we have triple copy of, obviously, the field spell, Mimighoul Dungeon. What this card does is, first, it attack boosts for monsters that were Mimighoul, that weren't normal or special summoned this turn. He makes them gain attack equal to their defense, and any player who controls a face-down monster cannot normal special summon or declare an attack with monsters that were special summoned this turn. During the main phase, you can add a Mimighoul monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. This is literally one of the best cards in the deck. This is probably the best card in the deck, because if really bad states, you can give them a face-down card, make them play into that Mimighoul stuff more, and then if they don't, it would act as their normal summon. It's broken beyond belief. What it allows you to do is completely shut down a lot of decks. Let's say you're playing against Flu. Most Flu boards won't have the out for a card like this. So you'll pretty much just win the game with it. And it makes it really easy. Like, Flu obviously isn't being played, but that was just an example of a deck that does it. Like a Lunalight thing. Malice really likes its normal summon. If you can stop them from getting it, it makes it really hard for them to continue playing. Orcust likes its normal summon. Without its normal summon, it can't go into the Orcust stuff. Mitsu doesn't really care. This doesn't really help with the Mitsu stuff. But you have other cards in your deck that can really help you out against the Mitsu player. Up next, we have 3 copies of probably the best card, Mimighoul Maker. Reveal 2 flip monsters with different names from your deck. Your opponent randomly picks one, you special summon it to their field and face down defensive position, and then you add the other to your hand. Then you can special summon a Mimighoul monster from your hand. If your opponent special summons a monster, except during the damage step, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one face-down monster your opponent controls. Change it to face-up, attack, or defense position. So what this does is it starts your combos, and it can count as another piece of interaction during your turn. Because if they go special summon, you could go Maker, flip up a dragon, blow up their board, room, give them another face-down monster. It can't be flip face-up this turn except by card effect. They won't have the card effect to flip it face-up, but you will, so you can flip it with Mimighoul Master, which allows you to make full combo on their turn as well, making them play into your interaction and hurting them a lot more. Up next, we have 2 Mimighoul Forks. What this does is it targets a face-down monster your opponent controls. Your opponent chooses one, and then you apply that effect. You can change it to face-up, attack, or defense position, so either allowing their Mimighoul stuff to proc, or you get to draw 2 cards. Then you can banish a fork from the graveyard to add another Mimighoul fork from your deck to your hand. Then we play 1 copy of Mimighoul Charm. What this does is once per chain during the main phase, if a Mimighoul monster your opponent controls is flipped face up, you can randomly choose 1 face-down card in your opponent's extra deck, and if it is a monster that can be special summoned it to your field, but it cannot activate its effects this turn. If it wasn't, or it cannot be special summoned, you just banish it. So against a lot of decks, let's say you hit a Liger Dancer, and that's a twice per turn kind of thing. So let's say against like a Malice player, you hit Haggard, that hurts. Let's say you hit any of their really good one. Let's say you hit Allied Code Talker. That weakens their end ward. Let's say you're playing against Yummy. You hit Herald, you're Gucci. They can't bridge into Mitsu anymore. You literally shut down their Mitsu bridge. Against K9, if you hit a Ripper, that could be powerful. If you hit their one of like K9 XX Werewolf, that can really help hurt them a lot. Let's say you're playing against Vanquish Soul and you hit a Rock, that can really hurt their deck because that makes their one of Rock a lot weaker. Let's say you're playing against Orcus, if you hit the Galatea or a Long or an Enlil or an SP, any of those cards that are really powerful, that really hurts. And hitting like a really good like generic card is even better because it allows you to activate that effect and treat it as your own. Last but not least, we're playing 2 copies of Mimighoul Realm. Special summon a Mimighoul monster from your hand or deck to your field, or in face-down defense position to your opponent's field, then you can change one face-up monster in the field to face-down defense position. So it summons from deck, and then it Book of Moons. Then you can banish this card from your graveyard, target any number of Mimighoul monsters you control, return them to the hand. This can help in board states where it's like, when your opponent passes because you interrupted them, can you OTK? If not, you can do this to get all of your stuff back. Last but not least, we have all of our hand traps, where I run 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 3 copies of Mulch Army Fuelos, 2 copies of Droll and Lockbird, 1 Nib, because it's a really good cross-out target, because Nib kills this deck, 1 Terraforming to get your dungeon, 1 Called Mine Crossout to do the same thing, protect your combos, 1 Triple Tactics Thrust, 1 Pot of Prosperity, double Infinite Impermanence, and 1 There Can Be Only One. I want to talk about this card because, yes, 1, it is a very powerful floodgate that can kill a lot of decks. What this really does is your deck plays into it so well. Like, Mimighoul is literally a Tikbu deck because Tikbu does jack crap against you. Because Dragon is a dragon, Archfiend's a fiend, Fairy's a fairy, Master's a zombie, Cerberus is beast, Armor is warrior, and Slime is aqua. None of your like types will ever clash. The only time that ever happened is with Throne and Giant. But even then, you can link off the Giant and the Throne into an SP, and just do it like that. So there's almost never a time, and there really isn't ever a time where you having a Tikbu up while playing your Mimighoul deck will ever hurt you. And now, and a new thing, I want to talk about my side deck, where I run double copies of Artifact Lancia because the locals I go to plays a lot of Orcus and Malice, which Lancia really hurts. So the thing that you can do is, depending on, like, figure out what your locals meta is. Because your locals meta is probably going to be a little different than the normal Yu-Gi-Oh meta. Figure out what decks are popular at your locals so you can prepare for it and actually side deck to win. Now, obviously, when you get to like regionals and YCSs and WCQs and all of that, you prepare for the best decks. But a lot of the time, your locals isn't really going to be playing a lot of the best decks. You'll have a few people that are, and if you go to an unfortunate locals where a lot of people are, you can side deck for that. But really learn your locals meta, and that can help you top a lot more by having really good side deck cards that hit the players that you're going to be playing against. So, in that same vein, that's why I run 1 copy of Mulch Army Perulia. I only own 1. If I had more, I'd run more. But it is a Mulch Army. It's very valuable against certain decks, and so that's why it is in my side deck to begin with. Up next, like I said, for a matchup, like at my locals, I see a lot of Lunalite. So I am playing 1 copy of Gamseel, the Sea Turtle Kaiju. If they make a Liger Dancer, cool. I'll Kaiju it away. Let's say they make a Baguska, which is a really problematic and issued card. They can make it during their main combo. I can Gamseel that Baguska away, and I'll just play through a Liger Dancer. Up next, we have 1 copy each of some toolbox cards. So we have an Entis, Packbit, and Mirologic Aggregator. These are all here as toolbox cards. If Aggregator is sent to the grave and negates, moves to the spell trap zone, and pops. And the reason I run those is because I like to run triple copies of Ultimate Slayer. I think Ultimate Slayer is a really nice staple. I think it plays really nicely into a lot of decks. And I really think that with that, and then the Entis Pack Bit and Aggregator, you get a really good like 2-for-1 or even 3 or 4-for-1 to stop this card and the cards that you're doing. Because it does send for cost. Up next, we play one copy in the side deck of Talent, and then a second copy of Thrust. Thrust, set the Heartbeast Featherstorm, or get a Talent, or get another card that I'll show in my side decks recently, or just grab an Ultimate Slayer. Can really help board break, can really help set up a really powerful board. This can also get you Maker, or Fork, or Room. So Talent and Thrust are a really good pair. I really like Thrust application in the deck because going first or second in the right spots, it can really help heal your end board. Then we run 2 copies of Forbidden Droplet. I like this card because of how it interacts with Dracotail. A lot of the time, like an Imperm, it sucks. Like, let's say they go 5 mana, Fusion, or Arthalion bounce 2. That really hurts in a spot where you can't Imperm them. So what you can do is play Droplet. And then if you know you're playing against Dracotail, you can hold the Droplet. Or if you know you're not playing against Dracotail, you can just set the Droplets, and it still counts as like a quick play Imperm kind of card. It's still a very applicable and powerful negate staple interaction point. And then finally, we're running 1 copy each of Harpy's Featherstorm, because like I said, I run the Lyra list, and even Ripplebird can really help in these situations because they're Wind-Winged Beast, and that's why going against the later matchups, you can side deck in that second copy of Thrust to get the Featherstorm more easily and help hopefully just shut down an opponent from playing altogether. While I don't like playing all of these Floodgates, that is just the style of deck that Mimighoul is. You kind of have to play these Floodgates because they just synergize so well with how your deck plays and how it wants to play that you not running them is not very smart. Because the deck is pretty much screaming at you, hey, do this, look at us, play us. And you not doing it is limiting what your deck can do. And finally, because I really like how it plays into the deck itself and what it can do against the deck like Lunalight, 1 copy of Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon. Obviously, on a trap card, you can Book of Moon as many possible monsters face down from face up attack position to face down defense position, and a card like it Towers that is unaffected by it, that can't have it done. Your opponent has to send it to the graveyard, which means that them being a Towers doesn't count because it's not an effect that you're activating. It technically counts as an effect your opponent's activating. But yeah, that is my main deck, my side deck, and my extra deck for my Mimighoul deck profile. Let me know if there are any other decks that you guys wish to see. I'll definitely take a look into getting those decks. And I just want to thank y'all for all the support and love that y'all have shown to my videos. But other than that, have a good day. Be good people. See ya.